Hi everybody, it's John with Backyard Eden, and we are bringing you another DIY. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we are here and we are in sort of the construction zone. This is kind of an area beside my house where it doesn't get used for much, so I use it to store. You can see here, and kind of in the background, I've got some PVC hoops for a low tunnel. I've got some spare lumber right here. This is also where I do my grilling. So I'm doing a little DIY video today. I'm working on building the components for a tomato trellis. Kind of the idea in my head, that's a dangerous place. The idea in my head, guys, is I'm going to build a tomato trellis. It's going to have two uprights, almost like, posts, if you will, and then it's going to have a cross piece connecting the two in the middle. The two bottom of the post will be drilled and connected to my raised bed with a couple of small braces cut at an angle to fit up against that wood to brace it. And then at the top, the cross member will be a piece of electrical conduit pipe. So the idea here is I'm going to single stem or maybe double stem. I don't know just yet. Probably going to lean towards single stemming them. But I'm going to single stem or double stem the tomatoes up a string to the conduit. This hopefully will allow better airflow with my tomatoes, and I won't have any sort of diseases or anything like that. So that's the goal. I'm putting the pieces together right now, so come along. So the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is this is a piece of 2x4 scrap that I have. In order to put the conduit up, the conduit is a 10-foot piece. And then my raised bed is 10 foot. So in order to I'm going to put the two posts on the outside of the raised bed so that I can have good access to screw into the raised bed. So which will actually make my frame for the trellis 10 foot and about 4 inches. It'll be 10 foot 3, I think is what it is, because these are not true 2x4s. These are 1.5 by 3.5. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this scrap piece of 2x4 and I'm going to cut it down into blocks to use as a spacer, and that will essentially eliminate that extra space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this drill bit. I have a spade drill bit. It's a 1-inch spade drill bit, and I'm going to drill a hole into those spacers for my conduit to slip into the spacer, and then I'm going to screw the spacer into the posts. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my cordless drill. It's a Ryobi cordless drill. I'm going to put in my bit. I'm going to tighten it up. Okay. And if you don't already have built-in eyewear, I would suggest you get some. Or goggles will work fine, whichever. I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see what I'm doing. And you can see the leftover from cutting some of the steaks for my peppers. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drill a hole right here for the conduit to go into. Take it slow. Now, I'm not actually going all the way through the board because I want it to act kind of like a notch, if you will, for the conduit to go into. Now, I'm going to take it down a little bit more, But like I said, I'm not taking it all the way. Okay, that's probably enough. If you notice, it's not coming through or anything, not even made a hole yet in the back. So just like that. Okay, I'm going to do it again on this side, although the spacers are only going to be about that long. So what I'm actually going to do, go ahead and take my Ryobi cordless skill saw. Now, if you're going to be doing a job that's going to take you using a skill saw a lot, definitely go out and buy a corded one. That's what I just did, so that I could saw all of my steaks for my tomatoes and my peppers and different things like that. It was just too much work for this saw. I mean, I was cutting for an hour straight, and I'm still not done. So definitely check out the Ryobi corded skill saw or circular saw. It's a great buy. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm actually going to try this on the conduit before I do another one. Alright guys, so it fits. It's not super snug, but it'll do the job just fine. Because once it gets in there on both sides, it's not going to go anywhere. Now, just because I'm OCD, I am going to measure this piece. I didn't have any certain measure in mind when I cut this first spacer, but I am going to make them at least match. And you want to make sure that your trellis is going to be level. So I'm just going to eyeball it, but I mean, it should be good, right? You know what? Better way to do it. Center. Sophisticated, huh? Alright, so I got my two spacers with the place for the conduit. Gonna change out my bit. I'm gonna put in my driver head with my star bit for my favorite screws. Alright, there we go. Got my screws in hand. Let's go. Oh, forgot about the battery. Alright, so here's the raised bed right here. You can see the wooden stakes in the ground for the peppers. Tomatoes are in the back half of that bed. Alright, so I'm going to take and actually attach the spacer to this first. Make sure it's flush because my tomatoes do get 8 foot tall easily. I think once they get to that point, I'm going to either fold them back down, let them grow back down, or just top them off. Make sure it's flush, and then screw them in. I'm not going to sink them in because I want to be able to take it down if I need to. So that one's done. It's time to mount it. Then I'm going to do the other one first. The screws that I'm using are definitely my favorite. They're 3-inch screws, however you want to, it's a star head, excuse me, it's a star head. They have a star head on them, and they're just super fantastic. I use them all the time. Alright, so let me get these into place. Alright, so here's the base of my raised bed. You can see it right here. There's my frame. That's what it's going to screw into. I'll go ahead and start my screws. Kind of space them directly where the tomatoes are planted to make it easier. Make sure this thing is attached. It is kind of leaning. Just because that bed is kind of, the bed piece is kind of leaning. Alright, now in theory, yeah, I said in theory, I should be able to take the conduit and slip it in between the two. Not sure if that thought is correct or what, but we're going to try it. Alright, so the main part of the frame is up. I do need to cut a couple of pieces as braces to just give it a little bit of more stability. But there it is. Pretty stoked about it. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So it's pretty stable as it is. Like I said, it wouldn't hurt to put a couple of braces on it. Pretty stable. There's my tomato trellis. Awesome. Whew. That didn't take very long at all. So, tomato trellis is up. Plan is to single stem them up to that line, up to that piece of conduit, and just have them guided up a string. So that's in. What I'll probably do is I'll probably take the pole back down, get the strings tied into place, and then put it back up. That way I don't have to try to do any climbing or any of that stuff. Because that does make the trellis, that trellis is 8 foot tall, and I'm fairly short, coming in at a measly 5'9" ish. So that's awesome. I'm super stoked about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, man, I'd love to hear them. Pop those in the comment section below. If you haven't had a chance to check us out on social media, take a minute, do that now. You can find the links in the description below. And that's it, guys. That is my simple DIY tomato trellis. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Hey, you made it to the end. Awesome. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that right below this video. And please, if you enjoyed it, share with your friends. And I hope that you come back and continue to watch our content, and also have an awesome day.